Hello and welcome back to the Ultra Films YouTube channel. My name is Evan, I'm the producer here. I'm here to talk to you guys about episode 16 of Young Justice Emergency Dive. Now, this episode gets pretty heartbreaking. We learn that Megan and Garfield haven't really been in contact. Megan goes to check in with Garfield for the first time since really they got back to Earth from Mars and since Connor's death, and they're not on great terms. They just really aren't getting along. Garfield's going through pretty much an addiction crisis where he's not partaking in any activities, locking himself in his room and taking pills all the time. And it's really bad. It's really sad. That's one of the bigger storylines. Obviously, we're still following what's going on in Poseidonus with Arian, Danuth, King Orin, King Orim, the Ocean Master. It's a bunch of stuff going on all at once. And then we're also following this storyline with Connor being trapped in some soul realm, and these guys right here trying to fix his death. So what do we got going on? Obviously, Garfield is having a real big problem. He's going through a basically intervention with McGann, a bunch of members from the Outsiders, and even what's his name from the Doom Patrol. I don't watch Doom Patrol. Let me look his name, because I want to get this right. I want to say his name is just Robot Man. Yeah, Robot Man. Okay. So yeah, Robot Man's there. Who is, I think that's the first time we've seen him in Young Justice. And everybody else there is trying to convince, you have Static and Jaime trying to convince Beast Boy to come back to the Outsiders and get back to regular life. And it doesn't go well. Let's just say he really shuts down even more, and he just looks super unhealthy. Obviously, as you can see, he's all beaten up and tired, and yeah, he's just not taking care of himself. Him and Calder are both trying to maybe just take on too much being leaders, and they kind of had this opposite effect, even though they had the same approach, where they were always just trying to do too much, and then Garfield is broken off and stopped taking care of himself and giving up all his responsibilities, where Calder continues to take on more than he can handle. So it's kind of a cool parallel, even though both sides of it are not great ways to handle it. Hopefully some resolution comes for both of those characters by the end of the season. We definitely don't want to see him in that headspace for long. But then to look at what's going on in Poseidonus, King Orin, the OG Aquaman, is looking into the prophecy and trying to understand what's really going on with Arian, why he's shown up, how he's even there, and why it all seems so crazy. Because Arian apparently has lived this whole time and hidden himself away. But for why? What reason? So he sends Calder and others on a secret mission to go look for King Arian's crown, to try and get a strand of the DNA that's potentially left there, even though it's been underwater for literally thousands of years, since Olympus had sunk. But they're going to try and cross-reference Arian's actual DNA off the crown into the DNA that they pieced together of his, because they know there's clones. We've seen clones in Young Justice, so they're just being cautious because they don't know who Arian is, what his goals are, or why he even showed up. It's a pretty sketchy situation overall, and I guess I can understand the concern for that sort of stuff. Basically, Delphis, who's one of the characters that they had saved, one of the metahumans that they had saved earlier in Season 4, or possibly even in Season 3, they brought her, or she overheard them plotting this secret plan, and she ends up following them, and she actually ends up saving them from some of the guards. She uses her uh, light projection powers to get them distracted and going another way when they're digging underground to go look for the crown. So it ends up actually paying off. Meanwhile, in that whole sequence, Orin goes and visits Orym in jail. And Ocean Master says something specifically about how he was there locked up for 6 years and only got visited 16 times. And then he went to go check the logs and check the... I don't know exactly what he was looking for, but he felt it was a little bit off and something that was out of character from him. So, yeah, he does all that and finds out that Danuth has altered the logs or something like that. I forget exactly what had gone on. But obviously, we know as the viewers that Ocean Master was killed, and this version of Ocean Master, whoever he is just a clone that has been made and sent in on a specific mission to destabilize Atlantis and Poseidonus, is what we can guess. At least that seems to be the stepping stones. And it's all centralized around Danuth's betrayal and Arion showing up to seize control as the one true king, fulfilling this prophecy that they have. So there's something going on there that maybe they used Ocean Master's... This is the most likely theory, that they used Ocean Master's memories and understanding of the prophecy to recreate something to seize control of Poseidonus and destabilize and control that whole group of people, so that, and even have direct orders over Aquaman and Calderon, because they're in charge. Calder is in charge of the Justice League. So if he has to submit to Arion, who's also a clone, owned, produced by Vandal Savage, and this is a whole manipulation game, then Calder is under that jurisdiction and under the jurisdiction of the light. And yeah, it could get bad very quickly. I don't know if that's the case. But anyways, one other thing I forgot to mention towards the end of all this stuff with Garfield is if he wants to remain on the Justice League and part of the Outsiders, then he has to pass a mental health check. So he has to go and meet up with Black Canary. That is probably something we'll see in episode 17. And maybe that's the path to redemption for him. We also have to figure out if they actually find Arion's crown, what's going on there, if they dilute the conspiracy theory and out Vandal Savage for trying to take over control of Olympus through the means of cloning. We'll see if that all plays out as we think it might. I think that they'll be able to unearth all of that before Arion actually takes control, and that won't have lasting effects on these characters. I hope. We'll see. And then the last bit of the story is Connor is still hallucinating in this afterworld life, and he's with this girl who's in the middle. I don't know her name exactly, I'm sorry. But they're traveling through this realm still, and Connor even is hallucinating things, and he kills Superman in one of these hallucinations. And he seems like he's about to give up all hope. So it's not looking great for him. Hopefully we see him saved soon. It's this group's job ultimately to get him out of there alive and get him back to safety. And they're working with Bart, which we talked about in the last episode. So hopefully things pan out for him. Hopefully things pan out for Garfield and Calder. And hopefully Poseidonus and Atlantis isn't completely crippled by this clone produced by probably Vandal Savage. I can only assume. So anyways, that's all we've really got for this episode. Thank you for watching this. I'll be breaking down episode 17 and beyond through the end of the season for this show. We have our Irresponsible Comic Book Podcast coming out every single week on Mondays. These episodes will be out on Sundays, I believe. From here on out, this first week has the 3 episodes, obviously, because they all dropped at once. But here on out, there should be episodes every Sunday for this, every Monday Some of the other guys on the channel are going to be covering other shows as well, so keep your eye out for those projects if you're interested in other shows. But until then, until next time, peace. Thanks for watching.